All right, all right. What is up, everyone? Hope you all are staying safe out there. As always, welcome back to the Revin Trading channel. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. I'm about to jump on a flight to see my family for Christmas. So, hope you all have some fun Christmas plans. And man, this Santa rally is not really playing out, huh? We got an anti-Santa rally so far, and Christmas is just 2 days away. So, looks like gold got the Santa rally. Everything else in the market has basically gone sideways and a bit down on Bitcoin here. So, looking at the 1 day time frame, we did see yesterday. I was talking about this midline. Was that 2 days ago? I guess now. Um, we were talking about this midline. It did not close above there, and it got that rejection off of there. So, if for users of the ribbons, if you saw that closure below, that does mean still downward bias, and you could have had a little bit of a short off of that. We did have the ribbons actually cross to the downside to the ribbon momentum oscillator. So we say our support one band is at about 80, what is this, 84K, 85K basically. That's target one, very, very likely to get hit, 80% chance of getting hit according to probabilities. So, if you were seeing that, if as soon as you saw that cross to the downside, you could take a short from there. And if you wanted to front run it a bit, you could take it off that rejection there. But support one dotted is 50%. So, that's at 80, what is that, 82K, 82.5K. So that's pretty likely to get hit. I say pretty likely. It's less than 50, but barely less than 50% chance. But looking at some other time frames, I do think that that is very possible to get hit on this move. I'm starting to turn around, guys. Unfortunately, I'm getting a little more bearish, at least near term. I was hoping for a bounce and then more downside, but looking at price, it's just weak. So this is what I'm looking at now. Possible move down to 82K area. And when we look at, let's look at go ahead and jump over to the 5 day time frame right here. When we look at the 5 day time frame, it's been down in this critical zone for quite a while. And it's overdue for a cross up. However, price is definitely looking weak, and as long as it's below this midline, there's just pressure to the downside. So, possibly we see a bounce down to this midline again, or a move down to this, dotted midline here again, and that is at 77K. So, I would expect, if we have maybe a sooner than later worst case scenario. There's always worse, right? The price can always go down more, but a worst case scenario for soon, that would be my worst case scenario for soon is like, hey, we don't see upwards momentum until we hit 77K, and then we see a move to the upside. By that point, the midline could be down, 93K area. Maybe we see a bounce up. At some point, we're going to see a bounce, right? Price never goes in one direction unless it's like a shit coin or some kind of collapse. But in general markets, you're going to see a bounce at some point. It's just like, when are you going to see the bounce, and positioning yourself to be able to profit off of those. So I'm looking at possibly a move down to 77K. The better case scenario would be we bounce off of this 83K area on the 5 day, and then we finally get a cross up. So, that's kind of the things I'm looking at. If you have the ribbon momentum oscillator and the ribbons, you can be following along in real time as this is happening. We see a closure in 2 days, so not too long until we see that closure. It'll be, I believe that's after Christmas when you see that closure. So let's hold on. Let's hold on to our sanity until then. We do have a short-term target to 97K, but that is 66% probable. So pretty low probability on a bounce to that. But that would be up near that midline. So, it could all happen. Maybe we see a wick down and then we see that bounce up to 97K. But by then, I expect our short-term target will have updated a bit. So I think that's everything I wanted to look at today. Maybe the 1 month. Sorry, this is a 10-day time frame. I was really analyzing this earlier, trying to come up with some scenarios and figure out what was going on, looking at past case. Because the 10-day time frame is also looking just nasty as it's rejecting off of that dotted midline support midline right there. And again, this is what I'm looking for here. We'll see if it happens. I definitely think I'm going to be possibly a little high on that. But we'll see what happens. I couldn't come up with too much new information on the 10-day time frame to speak of. So let's jump over to the 1 month, and then we'll wrap it up from here. On the 1 month time frame, it's actually interesting. I just updated the ribbon momentum oscillator on the 1 month. And we've only seen 3 crosses in the past that are similar to this, so it's very, very little to go off of. However, in the past 3 that have happened, all bands have been hit by 100% probability, which is just wild. So, again, I wouldn't take this obviously as truth because it's only had 3. But if we are going to go off of that, then we're going to have a move down to 66K area at some point before this momentum oscillator turns up. And I do expect that actually at some point. In any scenario I see currently, that is in the cards at some point before our monthly oscillator turns to the upside, at least. Obviously, all in between oscillators will have their chance to turn up and move, price will move up and down. But on the monthly, also looking bearish. So hey, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news on Christmas. This is just my perspective. I could be 100% wrong, but those are the things I'm looking at and trying to position accordingly. I'm trying to sell out some of my longs and position for a few shorts just to hedge a little bit. So, all right, y'all. Again, stay safe out there. Merry Christmas, and I'll see y'all in the next one.